Very good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Tuesday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samisha Srivastava. The nation today is marking 75 years of Constitution getting adopted. We'll get you the top stories. Let's get started. President Droupadi Murmu will address the members of both houses of parliament today in the Central Hall, which would mark the occasion of Samvidhan Divas. The event celebrates 75 years of the adoption of the Constitution by the Constituent Assembly on 26th of November 1949, with the Constitution formally coming into effect on 26th of January 1950. The event will be attended by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar, Prime Minister Modi, Lok Sabha Speaker Birla, Union Ministers, Members of Parliament, Heads of Missions based in the National Capital and other dignitaries. During the event, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar will also address the members, while Lok Sabha Speaker Birla will deliver the welcome address. A commemorative coin and a stamp marking the 75th anniversary of the adoption of Constitution of India will be released. After the top court's intervention, the Commission for Air Quality Management, which is the CAQM, has eased restrictions under the Graded Response Action Plan GRAP, permitting schools as well as colleges in Delhi NCR to hold hybrid classes. This decision allows educational institutions to conduct lessons both in person and online, which would help to address the difficulties caused by extended closures due to severe air pollution menace. In its earlier directive, Top Court had emphasized the negative impact of school closures, including the disruption of midday meal programs, limited access to online education for many students, and the absence of air purifiers at homes. The Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Modi, has approved the launch of 2,481 crore national mission on natural farming, which is the NMNF, aimed at benefiting around 1 crore farmers. By consolidating all previous initiatives in this area, the Cabinet announced that the national mission on natural farming will be rolled out in 15,000 clusters within Gram Panchayats over the next 2 years, targeting about 1 crore farmers willing to participate. Furthermore, 10,000 bio-input resource centers will also be set up to provide farmers with easy access to ready-to-use natural farming inputs.
प्राकृतिक खेती के लिए एक नेशनल मिशन का फैसला लिया गया है। ये एक पाथ ब्रेकिंग फैसला है, क्योंकि हम सब जानते हैं कि हमारे देश में एक बड़ी रिक्वायरमेंट है, जो किसानों की जमीन है, भूमि है, मिट्टी को स्वस्थ रखने की और केमिकल रहित प्रोडक्ट से इंसानों को स्वस्थ रखने की।
Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has announced a cabinet's decision led by Prime Minister Modi to introduce PAN 2.0. This has raised questions among citizens about whether they will need to reapply for a new PAN card under the new government scheme. The answer is a clear no. The cabinet has approved a 1,435 crore initiative for PAN 2.0, which would ensure that existing PAN cards will remain valid even as the system undergoes a major digital overhaul. Ashwini Vaishnav confirmed that the upgrades, including the addition of a QR code to PAN cards, will be provided to all taxpayers at no extra cost. The project is in line with the government's Digital India mission, which aims at making the permanent account number a common business identifier across various digital systems managed by government agencies.
पैन कार्ड हमारी जिंदगी का एक हिस्सा है, जो मिडिल क्लासेस हो, छोटे बिजनेस हो, सभी के लिए एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। इसको हाईली अपग्रेड करके एक नए लेवल पे लाके पैन 2.0 अप्रूव हुआ।
Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is in the national capital and is expected to meet BJP top brass regarding formation of the government in Maharashtra. Sources even suggest that Eknath Shinde is likely to resign today but will remain as caretaker chief minister until a new government is sworn in. Amid intense discussions, Fadnavis, a two-time former chief minister, is being considered a strong frontrunner for the position again. However, Shiv Sena leaders are advocating for Shinde to continue as Maharashtra chief minister. Meanwhile, NCP leaders are also expressing their support for party chief and deputy chief minister Ajit Pawar.
ये ऑब्जेक्टिवली अगर हम बात करते हैं तो इस महाराष्ट्र का मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय एकनाथराव जी शिंदे ही होना चाहिए। देखिए, उनका काम, उनकी लगन, ये देखने के बाद ही महायुति ने ये तय किया था कि उनके चेहरे के ऊपर हम चुनाव लड़ेंगे। क्यों? तो उनकी लोकप्रियता इतनी थी कि सब जन ने सोचा कि भाई उनके चेहरे के ऊपर लड़ना चाहिए।
In a major operation, Jaipur police has reported 11 Bangladeshi nationals on Sunday for illegally residing in the city using forged identification documents. Authorities even noted that this was the first time in recent history, in recent past, that such a large group of foreign nationals have been deported from Jaipur to Bangladesh. The investigation uncovered a racket that helped Bangladeshi citizens stay in Jaipur by providing fake Indian passports, Aadhaar cards, PAN cards and other documents as well. In fact, ongoing coordination between the police and other agencies ensured that the necessary approvals for deportation and the individuals were subsequently handed over to Bangladeshi authorities. In West Bengal on Sunday, BJP MLA Bala Mukund Acharya even commented on the same, suggesting that if a dedicated team were provided to investigate the issue of Bangladeshis illegally residing in the region, the numbers could reach a lakh in the state.
ये सारे बाहर के आए हुए बांग्लादेशी अपराधी किस्म के लोग अगर पूरी राजस्थान में सर्वे करवाए जाए, किराएदार वेरिफिकेशन कराए जाए और पूर्णतः एक टीम गठित करके इसकी जांच की जाए तो ये माने कि लाख की संख्या में ये निकलेंगे बांग्लादेशी। इनको निकालने की आवश्यकता है।
And time to shift focus to business stories that we are tracking. Hindustan Unilever has announced merge of its ice cream business. Let's get you the details in this segment. On November 25th, Hindustan Unilever announced its board has approved the demerger of its ice cream business, which includes brands like Quality Walls, Cornetto and Magnum into an independent listed entity. Entity. The HUL management has also been authorized to take the necessary steps for the demerger process. Existing shareholders of Hindustan Unilever will receive shares in new entity based on their current shareholdings in the company, according to a statement that's been released. Earlier on 23rd of October, HUL had even revealed plans to value its ice cream business in a bid to maximize value for all shareholders. India's economic outlook for the coming months remains cautiously optimistic, with agriculture poised to benefit from favorable monsoon conditions, higher minimum support prices, MSPs and a steady supply of inputs. These positive trends in agriculture are expected to help control inflation despite persistent price pressures in certain food items. Data from early November even suggests that food price inflation, particularly for vegetables, is beginning to ease, although geopolitical factors could still affect domestic inflation and supply chains, among others. These signs point to pick up in economic activity as the country enters its final quarter of the year. On the employment front, the formal workforce continues to grow, driven by an increase in manufacturing jobs and a strong influx of youth into organized sectors, further bolstering economic optimism. Externally, India is facing challenges in its export sector due to weakening demand in developed markets, but trade in services remains robust, which provides some support to the country's external trade balance. Boutique investment from GQG Partners has reaffirmed its confidence in Adani Group companies despite its recent indictment of the Indian group's promoters in a US bribery case, following the allegations by US prosecutors who accused the group chairman Gautam Adani and 7 others of being involved in a scheme to pay bribes worth $265 million to Indian officials to solar panel power supply contracts. GQG clarified the indictment concerns individuals, not the company itself. The firm even emphasized the distinction between the personal allegations against the individuals and companies, asserting that the fundamentals of the business it had invested remain strong. GQG even highlighted that the companies GQG invested in to operate as independently listed entities with separate management and revenue streams, and since investing it has witnessed solid growth in these business segments, leading to substantial earnings growth as well. French oil major Total Energies has stated that it has not been informed of a US investigation into potential bribery and corruption at Adani Green Energy Limited. The company announced it would hold financial contributions to its investments in Adani Group companies until the allegations against the individuals involved in the Adani Group are clarified. Just last Thursday, US prosecutors had charged 8 individuals, including Gautam Adani, his nephew Sagar Adani, and former CEO of Adani Green Energy Limited, accusing them of making improper payments to Indian officials between July 2021 and 2024 to gain business advantage. Total holds it holds a 37.4 share and a 50% stake in 3 renewable energy joint ventures with Adani Green Energy. And the top international story being the conflict in Middle East. Both Israel and Hezbollah have indicated that there is a possible ceasefire in the near term. Let's get you the details in this segment. The MED Dialogues, which is the annual conference on the Mediterranean held by the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Italian Institute for International Political Studies, started on Monday in Rome with the opening remarks of some of the leading figures of the region. Lebanese Foreign Minister focused his speech on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East and condemned attack on UNIFIL. He reiterated Lebanon's commitment to peace and security and further asked for an immediate ceasefire and deployment of additional Lebanese troops south of the Litani River in Middle East.
The Lebanese government realizes that 2 necessary conditions are required: an immediate ceasefire and deployment of additional Lebanese troops south of the Litani River. Once the above are realized, and in cooperation with UNIFIL, Lebanon will be able to extend its authority over its territory.
UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy has announced new sanctions on vessels of Russia's shadow fleet of ships that are evading sanctions to export Russian oil. The G7 has been at the very forefront of providing military and economic support for Ukraine since Russia's invasion in February 2022, and G7 members are particularly concerned about how a Trump administration will change the US approach. Trump has even criticized the billions of dollars that the Biden administration has poured into Ukraine and has said that he would end the war in 24 hours after coming to power. Comments that appear to suggest that he would press Ukraine to surrender territory that Russia now occupies.
This morning, I'm announcing the biggest sanctions package of the Russian shadow fleet, and it underlines the UK commitment to Ukraine. We are supporting them by £3 billion a year, every year, for as long as it lasts, to support them militarily. And of course, with both economic and humanitarian aid, we continue to support Ukraine.
Israel's top diplomat at the United Nations said his country will seek swift justice for those responsible for the killing of an Israeli Moldovan Rabbi. Speaking to reporters in New York City, Danny Denon said the killing of Rabbi Zevi Kogan was a monstrous act of terror. The United Arab Emirates also said that the police arrested 3 Uzbek nationals for the killing, an attack that raised concerns for the burgeoning Israeli community in the country. The statement from the country's interior minister offered no motive for the slaying of the rabbi.
This weekend, Chabad Rabbi Tzvi Kogan's brutal kidnapping and murder in the UAE shocked and saddened the state of Israel. It was a monstrous act of terror that demands swift justice. Israel will use every tool at its disposal to ensure that those responsible, as well as their orchestrators, are brought to justice. None will escape.
Scuffles and fistfights erupted between the ruling party and opposition lawmakers in Serbia's parliament on Monday, weeks after a deadly roof collapsed that ignited tension in the Balkan state. The opposition even wanted to discuss who is responsible for the crash that killed 15 people at the station in the northern city of Novi Sad. On 1st of November, the scuffles erupted when the deputies tried to grab the banners from each other. Serbia's parliament speaker was quick to accuse the opposition of wanting to come to power by force with the help from outside. Police even dispersed a peaceful march commemorating International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women in Nairobi, with tear gas shells being fired on the protesters who had shown up for the anti-femicide march in yesterday. The protesters lamented the police reaction and highlighted what they said was a lack of government action.
Police are the ones who kill women, which is why they don't want us to protest against the killing of women. They're supposed to be protecting us, but they're the ones perpetrating violence against us. So we want accountability.
Pakistan police arrested thousands of Imran Khan supporters ahead of a rally in the capital to demand the former Prime Minister's release from prison. A security officer in Eastern Punjab province said that the police have so far arrested more than 4,000 Imran Khan supporters, which includes 5 parliamentarians. Pakistan has even sealed off Islamabad with shipping containers and shut down major roads and highways connecting the city with PTI strongholds in Punjab and northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa provinces. Israeli military on Monday struck several sites in Beirut's southern suburbs after issuing evacuation warnings. Israel has even launched a widespread aerial bombardment of Lebanon and a ground invasion that it said is intended to push Hezbollah back from the border region. On Monday, Israel's Air Force even carried out several strikes in Beirut suburbs after an intense airstrike. Hezbollah even fired about 250 rockets and other projectiles into Israel on Sunday, wounding 7 people in one of the terror group's heaviest barrages in months in response to deadly Israeli airstrikes in Beirut, while negotiators pressed on for a ceasefire efforts to halt the all-out war between Israel, Hamas and Hezbollah. Negotiators gathered in Busan, South Korea on Monday in what's billed as a final push to address the global crisis of plastic pollution. Led by Norway and Rwanda, 66 ministers won the treaty to address the total amount of plastic on Earth by controlling plastic design, production, consumption and where it ends up. The delegation from the hard-hit island nation of Micronesia helped lead an effort to call more attention to unsustainable plastic production called the Bridge to Busan. Island nations have been grappling with vast amounts of other countries' plastic waste washing up on their shores.
What industry is looking for in terms of the treaty talks in South Korea next week is to try to reach an agreement by focusing on the key challenges here in terms of ending plastic pollution in the environment. So as we like to say, keeping the eyes on the prize. And that's to drive an agreement forward that will address those issues and not extraneous issues, whether it's regulating chemicals or curbing plastic production.
Hundreds of homegrowners in England and Wales have been battling flood waters on Monday after the second major storm of winter brought widespread disruption to the US. Several rail operators even cancelled services as more than 180 flood warnings remained in place after Storm Bird lashed the country with heavy rains and wind gusts up to 80 mph over the weekend. Nearly 130 millimeters of rain fell in some areas that resulted some areas to overflow their banks and turn roads into waterways.
Messed up with the electricity in the car. I think now, like, would the windows have wound down? Would I have had to spend time trying to smash a window before the water got too high? It's scary to think about.
The Israeli military displayed what it claims are some of the Hezbollah weapons and equipment found in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah has fired thousands of rockets into Israeli cities and towns, which includes nearly 250 on Sunday itself. Israeli officials even said that Benjamin Netanyahu's security cabinet is set to convene on Tuesday to discuss a proposed ceasefire deal to end the fighting between Israel and Lebanon-based Hezbollah. Among the other issues that remain is an Israeli demand to reserve the rights to act should Hezbollah violate its obligations under the emerging deal. The deal seeks to push Hezbollah and Israeli troops out of southern Lebanon.
In this room you can see examples of the equipment that we gathered within Lebanon. All of this equipment were not part of the Lebanese country or the Lebanese military equipment. This is a terrorist organization living on our northern border, and all of these weapons were not meant for agriculture. They were meant to attack our cities, our civilians, in order to kill as many Israelis as they can. This is why we're fighting inside Lebanon. We have to remove this threat from our border.
And Australian captain Pat Cummins has lauded Jasprit Bumrah, calling him the best bowler in the world. We'll get you the detailed statement of the Australian captain after we come back after this break. And time to take a look at sports stories that we're tracking in this edition of Quick Morning. Let's get started. Australia captain Pat Cummins lauded his Indian counterpart Jasprit Bumrah by calling him one of the best bowlers in the world after he picked 8 wickets in the match to lead his side to a 295-run win in the first test at Perth Stadium. Indian Grandmaster D. Gukesh was paid dearly for unwarranted complications in the middle game, allowing defending champion Ding Liren of China to clinch the opening game of the World Chess Championship. Mumbai Indians owner Akash Ambani expressed his delight after succeeding in his plans to pair the peerless Jasprit Bumrah with New Zealand's pace great Trent Bolt for the 2025 IPL. Mohammad Saleh has raised doubts about his Liverpool future, saying that he's yet to be offered an extension to his contract, which expires at the end of the season. The Pakistan Cricket Board has confirmed that they are not aware of a meeting with the International Cricket Council and the Board of Control of Cricket in India on 26th of November to resolve the uncertainty over Champions Trophy venues. Veteran pacer Bhuvaneshwar Kumar has sparked a bidding war. Mumbai Indians Lucknow Super Giants were engaged in a bidding war, but eventually it was Royal Challengers Bengaluru who lapped him up for rupees 10.75 crores. After attracting a 23 crore bid from KKR in the IPL mega auction, Venkatesh Iyer made a small right step while producing an all-round effort to propel Madhya Pradesh to a 101-run win over Meghalaya in a Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy Group A match. The ICC's executive board members are trying to convince PCB to accept hybrid model for next year's Champions Trophy on a profit of increased financial incentives. And time to take a look at all that's making headlines from the world of glitz and glamour. With a combined $270 million in worldwide ticket sales, Wicked and Gladiator 2 breathed fresh life into a box office that has struggled lately, leading to one of the busiest movie-going weekends of the year. John M.'s lavish big-budget musical Wicked, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, debuted with $114 million domestically and $164.2 million globally for Universal Pictures. This made it to the third biggest opening weekend of the year behind the Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2. It is also a record for Broadway musical adaptation. The stars of Moana 2 sail into a rainy and windy London Sunday for UK premiere of the soon-to-be smash hit animated sequel. In Moana 2, Ollie Crevallo returns to the voice of Moana and Donnie Johnson as the voice of Maui. K-pop.
Incredible experience, and I love the way that film came out. So when the opportunity came, we both were so excited to work on this and to continue Moana's story, see Maui and her come back together, see this entire new crew in this epic new adventure. It's been an incredible journey now.
K-pop group The Train from Arunachal Pradesh won the top prize at the finale of All India K-pop Contest 2024 that was organized by Korean Culture Center of India. The competition came to an end at the Yashobhumi International Exhibition and Convention Center on Saturday. The Train, an 8-member group, bagged the top prize in the dance category after the performance on God's Menu by the Stray Kids. And that's all we have for you in today's edition of Quick Morning. But stay tuned, we'll get you all the top stories after this very short break.